Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday, the 20th day of July. The year is 2017, and if you can hear the sound of my voice, you are the revolution. I am Revolutionary Warrior number 1, General of the Save the World Army, Smokin' Joe McHale, and I would like to welcome you to day 312 of Operation Save the World. We are live from beautiful Sydney, Australia, and this is the Save the World Army live daily news, smashing through the lies of the Illuminati, smashing through the lies of the New World Order, and smashing through the lies of the government who are escalating their attacks against humanity every single day. But even though they are escalating their attacks against us, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare be sour. Join the Save the World Army and feel the power. Yes, 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 I have the power. You have the power. We have the power. Humanity has the power, and we have to use that power, the power of love, to beat the Illuminati, to break the New World Order, to bring down the world government, and to save the world from evil. Because we know that the only way to set humanity free is to bring down the government that is enslaving us. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful July afternoon. Revolutionary Sergeant number 5, Tabasco, thank you for joining us. Revolutionary Sergeant Shamanicist, good to see you, bro. Revolutionary Warrior 316, JR Filthy. Revolutionary Corporal 366, Ghost Who Walks. Thank you all for tuning in. Shamanicist says, now I think I got this figured. Nice one. Ghost Who Walks says, good afternoon, brother and fellow warriors. Good afternoon to you, brother. And DMAC, Revolutionary Warrior 111, thank you for tuning in. Ghost Who Walks is in the house. Tabasco says, g'day. Hello, Joe. We are family. I got all my brothers and sisters with me. That song came on the radio the other day. I love that song. Shamanicist said, going to just listen. If I send a message, I lose too much live feed. Nice one, brother. From neonnettle.com, scientists uncover evidence that cancer is a man-made disease. Scientific study confirms origins of the deadly disease. By Jay Greenberg, July 17, 2017. Researchers at the University of Manchester, UK, have confirmed that cancer is a modern man-made disease. Their historical study, which included a diagnosis of cancer in an Egyptian mummy, analysed remains and literature from ancient Egypt and Greece and earlier periods, and was carried out at Manchester's KNH Centre for Biomedical Egyptology and published in Nature Reviews Cancer. And Ghost Who Walks says, hey Tammy. Shamanicist says, hey Tammy. And he says, much love, peace all. And Mama Lotus, thank you very much for tuning in. Mama Lotus is Revolutionary Warrior 36. I will survive, and we will survive the continued onslaught from the New World Order. They want to make us feel sick and sad and depressed and weak, but we are strong, we are sharp, we are oh so powerful, and we will be victorious. Their investigation of hundreds of Egyptian mummies only found one case of the disease, with few references to cancer in literary evidence, proving that cancer was extremely rare in antiquity. The rate of cancer in humans has seen a huge rise since the Industrial Revolution, in particular childhood cancer, proving that the increase is not simply due to people living longer now than they used to. Shamanicist said he can't even send love hearts anymore. That's strange how you can't. And 151 Dread Pool, thank you for joining us. Toxa GB, thank you for joining us. And Mama Lotus says, hello brother, surviving got even harder this week. My mum died Monday. My condolences to you. I will survive. But we will survive. I know how difficult it can be with all of the things piling on top of us. But we have to remain strong, and you will remain strong. We will remain strong, and we will get through this together. The lead researcher at the Faculty of Life Sciences, Professor Rosalie David, said of the findings, in industrialized societies, cancer is second only to cardiovascular disease as a cause of death, but in ancient times it was extremely rare. There is nothing in the natural environment that can cause cancer, so it has to be a man-made disease, down to pollution and changes to our diet and lifestyle. The important thing about our study is that it gives a historical perspective on this disease. We can make very clear statements on the cancer rates in societies because we have a full overview. We have looked at millennia, not 100 years, and have masses of data. And Ghost Who Walks says we will go on. And Shamanicist says, hey Mama Lotus, so hard, hang in there. We will hang in there. We will all hang in there together. Egyptian mummies. The University of Manchester's data includes the first ever histological diagnosis of cancer in an Egyptian mummy by Professor Michael Zimmerman, a visiting professor at the KNH Center, who is based at the Villanova University in the US. He diagnosed rectal cancer in an unnamed mummy, an ordinary person who had lived in the Dakhla oasis during the Ptolemaic period around 200 to 400 CE. Professor Zimmerman said, in an ancient society lacking surgical intervention, evidence of cancer should remain in all cases. The virtual absence of malignancies in mummies must be interpreted as indicating their rarity in antiquity, indicating that cancer-causing factors are limited to societies affected by modern industrialization. The team studied both mummified remains and literary evidence for ancient Egypt, but only literary evidence for ancient Greece, as there are no remains for this period, as well as medical studies of human and animal remains from earlier periods going back to the age of the dinosaurs. Evidence of cancer in animal fossils, non-human primates, and early humans is scarce. A few dozen, mostly disputed, examples in animal fossils, although a metastatic cancer of unknown primary origin has been reported in an Edmontosaurus fossil. I don't believe any of that jazz. Don't believe that dinosaurs existed. You can do your own research on that topic. That's a whole other kettle of fish. While another study lists a number of possible neoplasms in fossil remains. Ghost Who Walks says, Mama Lotus, my deepest condolences on your loss. Yes, much love to you, Mama Lotus. Various malignancies have been reported in non-human primates, but do not include many of the cancers most commonly identified in modern adult humans. It has been suggested that the short lifespan of individuals in antiquity precluded the development of cancer. Although this statistical construct is true, individuals in ancient Greece and Egypt did live long enough to develop such diseases such as atherosclerosis, Paget's disease of bone, and osteoporosis, and in modern populations, bone tumors primarily affect the young. Shamanicist says the internet has been compromised by Big Brother. All I get is the odd word of love, but that's enough. We're all in this together, my brother, and you should always know that. Mama Lotus says, thank you guys. Tabasco says, yes, strength, comfort, and love to you, Mama Lotus. And she says, thank you, Tabasco. I'm going to have some fluoride-free water. Cheers to victory, brothers and sisters. Another explanation for the lack of tumours in ancient remains is that tumours might not be well preserved. Dr. Zimmerman has performed experimental studies indicating that mummification preserves the features of malignancy and that tumours should actually be better preserved than normal tissues. In spite of this finding, hundreds of mummies from all areas of the world have been examined, and there are still only 2 publications showing microscopic confirmation of cancer. Radiological surveys of mummies from the Cairo Museum and museums in Europe have also failed to reveal evidence of cancer. As the team moved through the ages, it was not until the 17th century that they found descriptions of operations for breast and other cancers, and the first reports in scientific literature of distinctive tumours have only occurred in the past 200 years, such as scrotal cancer in chimney sweeps in 1775, nasal cancer in snuff users in 1761, and Hodgkin's disease in 1832. And Shamanicus says, going to try a reboot, be right back. Mama Lotus says, everybody call your mum and tell her you love her. Yeah, I'm going to take that advice. Thank you, Mama Lotus. The fathers of pharmacology. Professor David, who was invited to present her paper to UK cancer czar Professor Mike Richards and other oncologists at this year's UK Association of Cancer Registries and National Cancer Intelligence Network conference, said, "Where there are cases of cancer in ancient Egyptian remains, we are not sure what caused them. They did not heat their homes with fires, which gave off smoke, and temples burned incense, but sometimes illnesses are just thrown up. The ancient Egyptian data offers both physical and literary evidence, giving a unique opportunity to look at the diseases they had and the treatments they tried. They were the fathers of pharmacology, so some treatments did work. They were very inventive, and some treatments thought of as magical were genuine therapeutic remedies. For example, celery was used to treat rheumatism back then and is being investigated today. Their surgery and the binding of fractures were excellent because they knew their anatomy. There was no taboo on working with human bodies because of mummification." They were very hands-on, and it gave them a different mindset to working with bodies than the Greeks, who had to come to Alexandria to study medicine. She concluded, yet again, extensive ancient Egyptian data, along with other data from across the millennia, has given modern society a clear message. Cancer is man-made and is something that we can and should address. Of course, the New World Order, Illuminati scumbags all over the world, they want people to have cancer. That's why they're putting fluoride in the water. It's a known carcinogen. That's why they're spraying aluminium, barium, strontium, cadmium, thorium, titanium, and nanotechnology from the skies in the chemtrails. That's why they're pushing the GMOs. They want everybody to have cancer. They want everybody to be sick and retarded and weak so that they can't find back. But we are strong and we are sharp and we are fighting back and we will be victorious. And Super Sarah, Revolutionary Warrior 347, thank you for joining us. Our next article from activistpost.com, high-tech surveillance with 5G Wi-Fi. No, it's not 3G or 4G anymore. You got the 5-time cancer-inducing 5G network. Ghost Who Walks says, good afternoon, Sarah. This article by Catherine Frompovich, July 19, 2017. Everyone who is enamored with smart technology probably won't be interested in what I'm going to talk about, but I think it's important to know what the future foreshadows and probably will entail once 5G technologies are rolled out and become the norm. Super Sarah says, good morning, guys. Tabasco says, yeah, lost mine when I was young. I understand you, but we are never alone. Yes, that's what the Save the World Army is all about, supporting each other. We are all in this together. Super Sarah says, good morning. Goes to walks. Recently, Health Impact News published the article, New 5G Cell Towers and Smart Meters to Increase Microwave Radiation and Invade Privacy by John P. Thomas, which ought to get consumers thinking very seriously about how their lives and health will be affected when there will be nowhere to run to get away from electrosmog and the surveillance society forced upon everyone by utility companies. The opening paragraph sets the stage. When the FCC approved the use of 5G microwave communication technology in 2016 and approved the use of microwave frequencies in the 30 gigahertz range, they opened the door to even higher levels of human illness and severe disability for American children and adults. And 151 Dreadpool says, thank you for sharing. Much love and support. Guys, much love to you. Thank you for the support. First and foremost, consumers must realize what's involved with 30 gigahertz. A gigahertz is a frequency equal to 1 billion hertz or 1 billion cycles per second. Now multiply that by 30 times. How many cycles per second do you get? Isn't that 30 billion cycles per second? Now imagine those gigahertz frequencies traveling over in wall copper electric house wires that are built to take only 60 hertz. Such gigahertz frequencies just may be considered as sinusoidal harmonics or dirty electricity. And I'm not entirely sure what this sinusoidal word means, so once again I'm going to look this up. When I was a young man, I used to read many books, like I read many books right now. I'm still a young man, and always had a dictionary by my side so I could look up any words that I didn't know, so I could expand my knowledge, and now I am at the vanguard of vocabulary. Sinusoidal, of, relating to, shaped like, or varying according to a sine curve or a sine wave, or sinusoidal motion or sinusoidal alternating current. Excellent. Cheers to knowledge. Cheers to victory. To put the above into proper perspective about microwave technology and non-ionizing radiation waves such frequencies emit, we need to understand the frequency of electricity. 1 hertz, and this is already rehashing what it said in the first paragraph, so I'll continue. The higher speeds for Wi-Fi and electronics need to be juxtaposed against health ramifications no one is considering regarding 5G and 30 gigahertz microwaves. Thomas points out what's known about health issues from microwaves. The symptoms of microwave radiation exposure include fatigue, headaches, heart palpitations, high-pitched ringing in the ears, dizziness, disturbed sleep at night, sleepiness in daytime, moodiness, irritability, unsociability, feelings of fear, anxiety, nervous tension, mental depression, memory impairment, pain in muscles, pain in region of the heart, and breathing difficulties, just to name a few. Inflammation caused by excess histamine in the blood, oxidative stress, autoimmune responses, reduced blood flow to the region of the thalamus, pathologic leakage of the blood-brain barrier, and a deficit in melatonin metabolic availability have all been observed. And Tormented Soul 8991, thank you for tuning in. There is evidence that existing and new frequencies of microwave radiation are associated with cancer, heart disease, neurological dysfunction, immune system suppression, cataracts of the eyes, and sperm malformation. 5G has not been studied for short or long-term effects since the microwave industry just plugs along, content that there are no such wavelengths as non-thermal radiation that cause adverse health effects. So upping the frequencies apparently will be fine with regulatory agencies like the FCC and state public utility commissions. Tormented Soul says, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. A precedent already has been set for irresponsible implementation of technology with the rollout of AMI smart meters that pump out 2.4 gigahertz 24/7 365 from Zigbee radio transmitters. Isn't it only logical to give consumers faster Wi-Fi service? But who is counting the costs? Those costs not only include monthly fees paid for such high-speed services, but all in-home appliances will be mandated to be smart meter compliant, i.e. capable of being monitored and managed by your electric utility company for whatever reasons they choose, including usage and interruption of service. That means, in effect, if your appliances are not smart compliant, you will either have to replace them with smart appliances or have your older appliances retrofitted with Zigbee chips so they can become part of the Internet of Things, monitored by Big Brother. John Thomas has written a most exceptional article about 5G, its potentials and problems, including its determined rollout, which I encourage you to read. However, once you realize what's going on, you probably will start to wonder, where can I run? Where can I hide? Nowhere. That's the problem infatuation with technology has created. A society so besotted with technology, consumers willingly allow themselves to be surveilled and monitored every moment of their life, and therefore personal privacy will be lost, plus your home will be an open forum for all who can to hack into or to exploit. Tabasco says, I can't stand those microwaves. I stay with my son and he has one. They aren't even a useful item. That's worse than I imagined. I haven't used a microwave since before 2010. Absolute garbage. Just imagine what happens if you or most of the folks you love and know become electromagnetic hypersensitive, or EHS, from constant exposure to EMFs, RFs, and ELFs because of wanting faster Wi-Fi. And you see what percentage of the population is just so irritated all the time. They're nasty all the time. They're grumpy all the time. And they're not grumpy about the fact that the government is poisoning them or their families. They're grumpy about ridiculous little squabbles that they have about nothing. And it's partly because of the GMO foods, partly because of the fluoride, partly because of the chemtrails. And also these radiation, these frequencies are causing massive mental health problems and massive physical health problems all over the world. Yeah, Super Sarah is right when she refers to those smart devices as smart rubbish. And she threw out her microwave. We're on the same wavelength. That's the positive wavelength. That's the freedom wavelength. That's the Save the World Army wavelength. And that just reminds me, there are less than 10 hours to go in the free shipping offer at store.thesavetheworldarmy. Excuse me, let me give you that URL one more time. store.thesavetheworld.army. So free shipping runs out at 10:05 a.m. CDT. And I have a clock up here with the CDT time, and it's 0 hours and 20 minutes. So yeah, less than 10 hours if you want free shipping. You get free shipping if you live in the US and you order more than $45. If you live internationally, you order more than $80, you get free shipping. That ends in less than 10 hours. And Tabasco says, yeah, throw them. And Revolutionary Warrior 508, Nikita, thank you for tuning in. She says, hey everyone, much love. Goes Through Walks says, hey Nikita. And she says, hey General. Or is that Goes Through Walks? Regardless, good to see you, Nikita. And you should check out this 52-minute documentary, Wi-Fi Refugees. Learn what it's like to have EHS and experience the adverse effects of microwave technology. From neonnettle.com. Child trafficking pedophile police officers honoured in secret ceremony. Cops who raped and trafficked a 12-year-old promoted. By Jay Greenberg, July 19, 2017. Members of the Oakland Police Department who were found guilty of sexually abusing and trafficking a child were honoured for their bravery and service in a top-secret church service. Many of the police officers honoured in the service were part of the group of 30 cops involved in the exploitation of Celeste Gorp. Celeste escaped from a pedophile ring when she was just 12 years old, but when she went to the police for help, they instead continued to traffic, rape, and exploit her themselves, keeping her in a life of continued sexual abuse for years to come. Jasmine Abaslan, also known as Celeste Gorp, now 19 years old, eventually won $1 million in compensation from a lawsuit after she sued 7 police forces in the San Francisco East Bay area. Now, some of the officers involved in covering up this explicit case of child sex trafficking are not only being promoted, but honoured. EB Express reports 24 protesters picketed the ceremony at the church's entrance, accusing Mayor Libby Schaaf and the department of rewarding officers who should instead be punished. They seem to be resisting change, said Gwen Hardy, a longtime Oakland resident who has been involved in efforts to reform the OPD since the 1980s. Hardy said the Coalition for Police Accountability, which spearheaded the creation of the city's new police commission, met with Police Chief Anne Kirkpatrick earlier this year. Kirkpatrick told the activists she wouldn't hesitate to discipline and even fire bad cops. But why promote them? Hardy asked. Media was barred from entering the ceremony and instead asked to stand 50 yards from the auditorium's entrance. Oakland police officer Jonna Watson told a group of print, television and radio reporters that the event was held in private in order not to have outside distractions and that some people might have tried to disrupt it. Reporters and media had been allowed to attend and photograph OPD's ceremonies and academy graduations in the past. Several longtime OPD personnel told The Express they couldn't remember the last time such an event was held in secret. OPD also did not issue an advisory in advance of the ceremony, which was held at the Greek Orthodox Ascension Cathedral at Lincoln Avenue in the Oakland Hills. According to several sources who attended the ceremony, Schaaf told the department that she knows what it feels like to be under scrutiny and that she tried to lift the officers' spirits. I'm not going to call them officers anymore, I'm going to call them pedophiles. City Administrator Sabrina Landreth was honoured for her time leading the department as its de facto police chief last year. This after 3 chiefs, Sean Went, Ben Farrow, and Paul Figueroa, resigned or were let go in less than 2 weeks. But the controversial promotions and awards were what drew protesters to today's event. Roland Holmgren was honoured for his recent promotion to the rank of captain. His wife and daughter pinned his badge to his uniform, according to those in attendance, and Holmgren received a loud ovation from his fellow officers. Holmgren was one of the officers referred to in a special court investigator's report as having mishandled the Gorp case, in which multiple Oakland cops raped and trafficked a young woman and illegally accessed department records, among other crimes. He has been involved in several of OPD's high-profile misconduct scandals for the better part of 2 decades. Sergeant Jason Anderson, one of the homicide investigators whose interview of Gorp was criticised by the court investigator, received a Silver Star Medal because no media were permitted into the ceremony, nor was any information released about the individual awards. It is unclear what Anderson did to merit his commendation. Anderson's partner, Bradley Baker, who was also referenced in the court report as mishandling the Gorp investigation, attended the ceremony but wasn't given an award. John Lois, who was promoted to Assistant Chief of Police, did not attend the ceremony. Lois played a critical role, prematurely closing the criminal investigation of several Oakland cops accused of raping and trafficking Gorp. And Seattle Critter-Sitter, aka Revolutionary Warrior 99, Revolutionary Corporal 99, Warrior of God. Good to see you. A citation award was given to 18 officers from the Special Resources Unit for Patrol Area 3, which covers a portion of East Oakland from Lake Merritt to the Fruitvale. According to sources close to the department, at least one member of this unit is under investigation for having sex with a civilian on department property. The alleged sexual misconduct recently occurred. The Express first reported those allegations last month. Also in attendance was Captain Kirk Coleman, who now runs the Internal Affairs Division, and who was also cited in the Swanson-Barron report for failing to notify District Attorney Nancy O'Malley about potential criminal behaviour in the Gorp case and prematurely closing the criminal investigation. Former Police Chief Howard Jordan, who left under pressure over OPD's mishandled investigation into excessive force during Occupy Oakland, attended the ceremony as well. David Downing, the outgoing Assistant Chief, was the Master of Ceremonies. When asked about the ceremony while she was leaving, Scharf said it was very nice. So we see this all over the world. It is a sick, satanic, systematic network that kidnaps children, that rapes children, that murders children. It is truly disgusting what they're doing, and they protect each other, and they promote each other, and they help each other out, and they cover up their truly disgusting crimes, but I will not allow that to continue. I will expose them until the day I die. Cheers to victory, my brothers and sisters. Warrior of God says, woo! And all the people who said Trump was a good guy. Are there any of those people left? Really? From ActivistPost.com, report, Trump's bombing campaign in the Middle East has already killed at least 2,200 civilians. By Aaron Kessel, July 19, 2017. US President Donald Trump is creating dozens of innocent casualties a day as he takes on the Islamic State in a bombing campaign in the Middle East, risking to double the numbers his predecessor Barack Obama had, according to Air Wars, a watchdog organization who did an investigation for the Daily Beast. Air Wars researchers estimated that at least 2,300 civilians died from coalition strikes overseen by the Obama White House, roughly 80 each month in Iraq and Syria, the Daily Beast wrote. As of July 13, the Beast estimated that more than 2,200 civilians have been killed under Trump's coalition raids since he was inaugurated to be the 45th President of the United States. In under a year, Trump's administration has killed an estimated upwards of 360 per month, or 12 or more civilians killed every single day. Nikita says, woo! Hey, Lisa. Warrior of God says, hey. Then 1 month later in February, the US focused its efforts on annihilation tactics and shoving ISIS out of safe locations in an attrition fight. In March alone, the US admitted it was responsible for killing more than 100 civilians in Mosul. This is around the same time that innocent civilian deaths started spiking, according to the Beast. Yet beginning in March 2017, the month after Mattis handed over the new plan, Air Wars began tracking a sharp rise in reported civilian fatalities from US-led airstrikes against ISIS. In part, this was due to the savagery of the battle for Mosul, but in Syria, where almost all strikes are American, likely civilian fatalities monitored by Air Wars researchers increased fivefold even before the assault on Raqqa began, the Beast wrote. And this makes Warrior of God angry. Me too. Then in April, US Central Command, or CENTCOM, admitted 484 civilian deaths were as a result of coalition strikes as part of Operation Inherent Resolve to clear ISIS presence from the Middle East. It is sickness, Warrior of God. Finally, in May, during a meeting of the anti-ISIS coalition, General Mattis stated there would be no changes to our continued extraordinary efforts to avoid innocent civilian casualties, The Independent reported. Reports greatly differ from the coalition itself and the watchdog organization Air Wars, but the official numbers also reveal a sharp uptick in civilian deaths. Of the 603 victims killed since the operation began in 2014, Trump promised to bomb the excrement out of ISIS, and I'm censoring what he said there, on the campaign trail, but once again, like his predecessor Barack Obama, he is causing innocent civilian deaths across the Middle East, and that's without including the casualties from supporting the Saudis' war in Yemen. In late June, the Trump administration signaled that he'll be reducing restrictions on drone strikes by eliminating the near certainty clause aimed at protecting civilians. As a result, civilian deaths by US bombs in the Middle East are likely to keep climbing. And they talk about ISIS. Of course, we all know that ISIS and the rest of these terrorist groups are funded, armed, controlled, started, run by the Western governments to keep the wars going on forever, but we can see through their lies and we are bringing their evil empire down. From neonnettle.com, California bans unvaccinated children from attending public schools. Kids without mandatory vaccines removed from state schools, by Jay Greenberg, July 19, 2017. I'm going to have some more fluoride-free water. Cheers to victory. And it is pure evil, Warrior of God. Following California's new immunization law, it is now illegal for children to attend public schools unless they have been vaccinated. The new law criminalizes children who haven't received mandatory vaccines and bans them from receiving a state-funded education until they've been immunized. Many parents and children have unnecessarily been turned into criminals after the new bill removed religious and philosophical exemptions for vaccines, making the state one of the leading proponents of medical tyranny in the United States. It is now against the law for unvaccinated kids to go to public schools in the Golden State, and children who attend without being vaccinated will be removed from the premises. Dr. Richard Pan, one of the leading proponents of forced vaccination, is the same senator who sponsored last year's mandatory vaccine campaign. And yes, Nikita, you're exactly right. They pretty much ban children over here too. And Warrior of God says, wow. Pan is back pushing a new proposal to gain even more control over children's lives, which will make vaccines mandatory for all children living in California. HIN reports California Senator Dr. Richard Pan pushed through the mandatory vaccine law SB 277 with financial backing from vaccine manufacturers to ban children from public and private schools unless most of the CDC vaccine schedule was completed. Previous allowable vaccination exemptions are no longer allowed except for medical exemptions. However, one prestigious California pediatrician is being threatened with losing his license to practice for issuing a medical exemption to vaccines to one of his patients. So, could this be the state's method of shutting down doctors who dare to write vaccine exemptions, so that soon not even medical exemptions will be readily available to those who need them? Other such state bills mandating vaccines and removing exemptions were easily defeated across the US in 2015 due to public outcry. Yet even though the public outcry was probably the loudest in California in opposition to SB 277, it somehow still passed. And Sin City Jason, Revolutionary Sergeant 40, thank you for tuning in, brother. California became the first state to remove religious and philosophical exemptions to vaccines. Two other states, Mississippi and West Virginia, have never had such exemptions, and their yearly health statistics on children are consistently among the worst in the United States. Will the health of California's children now decline due to mandated increases in vaccination rates? Of course, the answer is yes. Now that same state senator, Dr. Pan, is introducing new legislation, SB 18, that allows the state to assume total ownership of a child's well-being as defined by state and medical bureaucratic experts. Sin City Jason says, hey Joe, hey all, good to see you, brother. Nikita says, and they won't class the child as immunized unless they have had every single needle. It's so sad. I didn't know any better when I enrolled my girls in school, but lucky they are all now older. Yes, you had the courage to face the truth. So many people, so many parents see the truth and they look the other way. They stick their heads in the sand because they don't have the guts to face reality, and they'd rather pump their children full of poison than do the research and go against their friends and go against the media and go against the mainstream. I'm not going to go against the mainstream. I'm not going to go with the mainstream. I'm here to speak the truth. SB 18, Bill of Rights for Children and Youth in California. This new bill references a 2009 Assembly Concurrent Resolution, or ACR 80. An ACR is a resolution created by members of the California Assembly, which is actually the State House of Representatives. It was originally intended as a bill of rights for foster children. SB 18 is a very loosely worded, open-ended draft introduced in the state Senate, which permits future additional roles and regulations that are meant to organize and codify or create more laws. ACR 80 according to experts, observations and evaluations. And who would be the experts mentioned in SB 18? They would be mainstream medical professionals who consider the only treatments for cancer are surgery, radiation therapy, and chemotherapy. They would be the CDC and other pro-vaccine medical doctors who consider multiple heavy vaccinations as necessary for good health. These are activities that so far most adults can pass on for safer and more effective alternative means. But the government does not want you to have those choices for your own children. Medical child abuse, the new diagnosis used for medical tyranny and state-sponsored child kidnapping. And we've seen so many cases of this with Chase, just one example. The common claim of medical child abuse is used for not acquiescing to medical procedures, some experimental, that most knowledgeable adults shun. Parents and children, in some cases, have had to go on the lam as fugitives from the law when they decided to discontinue medical practices that were harming their children. A whole new pediatric subspecialty was created in recent years with the advent of the child abuse specialists. This is a pediatrician that acts more like a law enforcement official by looking at x-rays and medical records to determine if a child has been abused by their parents or caregivers. They seldom interviewed the parents or children or even the family pediatrician who knows the family. Finding abuse is necessary to justify their profession, and courts are increasingly finding that many innocent people have been wrongly convicted. Sin City Jason says that's totally unconstitutional. That's exactly right. Goes to Walk says, what about the little boy and his family here in Australia? Cannot even mention him or face a lengthy prison sentence. Really? I just said his name. What, you can't say his name or they're going to put you in jail? What, because the government kidnapped Chase Walker? Ooh, I said it. Crazy. They want to make speech illegal. I'm already going to court for speech, for saying that the courageous will never be silent while these wars continue. Senseless violence. Stop the wars. Bring peace to the world. Let them charge me. Scumbags. Nikita says, big signs are everywhere at the moment outside chemists saying free flu shot, free mercury, free aluminium, free brain damage, free impotence. Well, you've got to be an impotent, ignorant, indolent idiot to take these flu shots in the first place. Goes to Walk says, only got to look at Andrew and Paul. Goes to Walk says, we can, brother. Nikita says, I'm saying his name, no gag on me, General. Exactly. Is that what you're saying, Goes to Walks? Who specifically has the gag order placed on them? Let me know. Sin City Jason says, may be necessary sometimes for the state to step in if the circumstances are correct. I disagree. This is Big Pharma creating a revenue path with children's health further in the agenda. I agree with you about that. Warrior of God says, never silent. And Big Jono, my brother. I can't even remember what your warrior name is. Yeah, 187. Revolutionary Warrior 187. Big Jono in the house. Much love to you, bro. We got to catch up soon. They banned me from Facebook. Send me a message or something, bro. We should hook up soon. And Goes to Walk says, but no one is allowed on the media. Brother, this is the real media right here. We don't deal with that mainstream mumbo jumbo coming out of the television. Warrior of God said yes. And Big Jono said, much love, 187. Much love to you, brother. Our next article. Continuing with this article. The DEA's war on drugs is also used to remove children from homes where parents used marijuana for medical reasons in many states where it is legal. Experts can also be public education bureaucrats who look down on homeschooling as depriving a child's optimal education, even though public schools turn out semi-literate kids who are incapable of critical thinking. They will also support efforts to diagnose children with ADHD and drug them with psychotropics, straight up amphetamines. And Jono says, yeah, call you later. Much love, my brother. Goes to Walks. And tell Christian I said g'day, my man. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, Loco. Tell Loco I said g'day. Goes to Walks says, because they say it will affect his chance with a foster family, taking him on, which is a joke. It is a joke. We see how many times the government steals, kidnaps children from their loving families, places them in foster care where they get raped and abused. It is truly disgusting. It is feeding the satanic pedophile networks that run rampant throughout the government. Goes to Walk says, I know, brother. Sin City Jason says, Joe, I know people who are abused by their parents both sexually and mentally. If the state did not step in, they are hurt and cannot heal. I know exactly what you're saying, bro. What I'm saying is that the state and all the satanic pedophile networks, they run so much child torture and child rape and child murder that to have them remove any child from their parents is evil in itself. Goes to Walk says, Andrew K is a Dr. Pot. Yeah, Dr. Pot and Paul B, who was in court this afternoon. Yeah, they have the gag order on them. Good luck to both of them. Increased role for CPS, removing children from existing parents to enforce state bureaucratic perspectives of what's good for children, according to experts, is left to the Child Protective Services, or CPS, which does so by removing children from their families and placing them into private and or institutional foster homes. CPS depends on federal funding for each child they remove from a home and place into foster care, so many CPS officials are motivated to lie, distort, and falsify documents, like every other government scumbag, to achieve their success of removing children from parents. Their goal is to break apart the family. They want to destroy the family. They want the state to be the new family figure. They want the state to be the new father figure. They want the state to be the new big brother. Sin City Jason says, I know, I agree with you on that. And BlueDat77, thank you for tuning in. This is insane. From activistpost.com, creepy new smart toys allow pedophiles to track and talk directly to children. By Matt Argerist, July 19, 2017. Ghost Who Walks says, no, they are saying they breached the court gag order just trying to isolate the family. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, bro. A particularly ominous warning was put out by the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center this week, alerting people to the potential dangers internet-connected toys pose to adults and children alike. Not only do these spy toys have the potential to record kids' conversations, track their movements, reveal their location, they even allow perverts to talk to children directly. The alert, titled Consumer Notice, Internet-connected toys could present privacy and contact concerns for children, warns users of the security risks and vulnerabilities posed by this new line of smart toys that connect via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to your home network. The toys, according to the warning, typically contain sensors, microphones, cameras, data storage components, and other multimedia capabilities, including speech recognition and GPS options. According to the FBI, microphones could record and collect conversations within earshot of the device. Information such as the child's name, school, likes and dislikes, and activities may be disclosed through normal conversation with the toy or in the surrounding environment. The collection of a child's personal information combined with a toy's ability to connect to the internet or other devices raises concerns for privacy and physical safety. Given how easily children give out their information, especially considering they think they are engaging with a harmless toy, the implications for abuse from criminal and government actors are damning. The deliberate or accidental vulnerabilities inside these toys present a unique opportunity for sickos who want to spy on or otherwise engage in conversation with unsuspecting children. Ghost Who Walks says they are doing this by stealth to the slave's brother, but we are not their slaves. We are the Save the World Army. We are growing strong and we stand in defiant opposition to this evil system. Even if all you do every day is look in the mirror and say, I will not take it anymore. I will not go along with that system. If enough people do that, then the world is going to change. But I'm telling you, we're doing more than that. We're looking in the mirror and we are taking positive action to save the world by exposing the callous, not cool at all, the callous, cruel criminals that are enslaving humanity. And Sin City Jason says, hey Joe, Samsung had media recognition devices. They had media recognition recently because certain bits of software in their smart TVs allowed hackers to log into televisions and take over the cameras and audio to watch people in their own homes. Exactly. All of these phones, all of these tablets, all of these smart TVs, PlayStations, they have the cameras in them and anyone can tune in at any time if they have the know-how. And Alyssa Kosh, thank you for tuning in. She said, would that be the same as baby monitors? I suppose so if they're connected to the internet or Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. And Alberto Almia, BJJ, thank you for tuning in. My BJJ brother, Us. I recommend everybody learn martial arts and martial sports. You have to learn how to defend yourself in a real-world situation, and I cannot recommend Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu highly enough. Looking forward to no-gi training tonight. Ghost Who Walks says, enough is enough. He says, yes, we are. He says, I agree with what you're saying, brother. And it goes on and on. They are building a spy network. They are building a prison network all over the world where all of these devices are spying on us and controlling us and building profiles on us so they know what we're doing. But I want them to know what I'm doing. I want them to know that I am bringing their system down. I will not allow their satanic pedophile networks to continue. I will not allow their wars to continue. I will not allow their perverted police state to continue. I'm here to stop all of this evil, and I thank you for your hard work in stopping this evil every single day. Ghost Who Walks says, Nikita says, yeah, Ghost Who Walks, enough is enough. Very creepy strangers' eyes on my daughters in their own home. It is incredibly creepy. Sin City Jason says, network, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. You're exactly right. I'm not going to take this slavery anymore. Every single day I'm doing my best to bring this evil system down. Thank you all so much for all of your support. This video will stay on Instagram for the next 24 hours. Then it'll be on YouTube at youtube.com/the Save the World Army. Also, please follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/Save World Army. Also, join the brand new revolutionary social media network that I created. I've been banned from Facebook. We need to diversify our communications. So please sign up at thesavetheworld.army. And also, if you want to get your Save the World Army hoodies, t-shirts, sweaters, tanks, go to store.thesavetheworld.army, and there is free shipping for the next 9 hours or so until 10:05 CDT. Sin City Jason says algorithm, research and AI. Yes. Nikita says much love to all of you. Thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you for all the love. It is the power of peace that will prevail. It is the power of truth that will triumph. It is the power of love that will lead us to victory. Much love, everyone. I am Revolutionary Warrior #1, General of the Save the World Army, Smoking Joe McHale, and together we are beating the Illuminati, breaking the New World Order, bringing down the world government, and saving the world from evil. Much love to all of you. I will see you tomorrow. The revolution is here, and we will be victorious. Woo! Yeah!